Also, let's discuss the women. Think about the standard that was set with what the dynasty that was with women's basketball under Kim Mulkey. 3 national titles and numerous trips deep in the postseason. You start 0-2, and Nicki discussed this with us last week, the chirping, a thread on Sic'Em365.com, fire Nicki Collen. The standard that was set, the hovering of a Hall of Fame, Naismith Hall of Famer, 0-2, chattering. I wondered, and look where they are. They had another one, and there's a game to go. And they've got a piece, again, of their 12th consecutive women's basketball Big 12 title.
I'm just to tell you, I never wondered. I thought they would get back in it. They have the best player in the country on the team, and that goes a long way, especially in women's basketball where there aren't too many Nalissa Smiths around there. There's not many people who compete with her. You saw it last night. She went 28-20. She was fantastic. She's fantastic most every night. There's not people who can stop her. And once they got back and kind of under control, it was going to be fine. Now, the true test for Nicki Collen is going to be, can you continue that streak? Can you recruit once the best player in the country, who's probably going to be the first pick in the draft, leaves next year? I'm sure she can. I'm sure this year goes really far into showing what kind of a coach she is. So, yeah, I never had a doubt.
I did. I mean, there's plenty of other teams, Iowa State, Oklahoma, Texas, that all finally saw Kim Mulkey leave and saw a window opening to perhaps go and win the Big 12 for the first time in, some cases ever and forever in other cases. So when they got off to the rough start, I mean, there was COVID. There was just the relationship aspect of kind of feeling that out and getting to know each other a bit better and how things would work. And I thought that they would certainly improve as the season went along, but I didn't necessarily think they were going to go on, a super crazy winning streak and would torch Iowa State twice, including at their place last night with a Big 12 title on the line. I'm not surprised that they won it, and I think it's awesome that they did and that it was done in Nicki Collen's first year, but I certainly wasn't banking on it. I didn't think there would be too much of a drop-off, but when you were as consistent as Kim's teams were, I don't think it was, unfair to think that, okay, well, maybe this year Texas does win it, or Iowa State, or Oklahoma, or any of the other number of teams that are, capable of doing so. So for them to kind of dig themselves a little bit of a hole early on, granted it was very early on, so it wasn't like you had to press the panic button, but like you said, some people did. Some people used to just losing a couple games a year. All of a sudden it's like, what is this losing stuff that's going on? But, to their credit, they fought through that and came together, all the cliches you want to say, but it's what happened. And she's a good coach, and it's different than it was, but it's still the same result in the end as far as the Big 12 regular season goes. So I think you've got to be happy with that if you're a Baylor women's basketball fan. And I mean a Baylor women's basketball fan, not a particular fan of a coach or a particular fan of a player. If you're a fan of the program, that was a big-time deal last night because it wasn't Kim Mulkey earning that trophy. It was the new coach who's replacing her. And, after all that talk, that was just good to see.
And, yeah, some of the players, in fact, Nalissa Smith, Queen Egbo, among others, Caitlin Bickle, Jordan Lewis was coming to Baylor to play for Kim Mulkey before she decided to move on to LSU, and she's done a great job, no question, in the SEC, only second behind South Carolina, and they pushed them in their only meeting this year. But I was happy. They sprayed her with the water. They won a piece. I wondered when they were 0-2. I did. I'll say, I'm not saying I thought they weren't going to be a team that got to the tournament and they weren't be a part of the mix, but, I mean, it was a little bit kind of I was like, wait a minute, because you never know. And look where they are. And now they have a game left. They win that last one outright. They win the Big 12 title. Or if Iowa State was to lose, I think it's against Texas Tech, their last game as well. So we've discussed.
No, Baylor plays Tech.
Baylor plays Texas Tech. If they win, it's outright. If Iowa State loses their last game, then does it matter? There's a